You know they eat babies. That is not bullshit. It's true.
So it's not just the dogs and the cats, not just the pets.
It's not just the dogs and the cats. They're full-on vampires. And everybody still thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh and they drink human blood. They do, Tucker. Stop staring at me like that.
You're freaking me out, man.
Anybody recognize this cabin right here that Kris Jenner's at? Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
I now hold the opinion that Kim Kardashian is a prostitute, and I'm not going to edit this opinion. Kim Kardashian is a prostitute. Her mother...
What if I told you that America's most famous family has deeper ties to the world's most notorious predator than anyone ever admitted? The Kardashians and Jeffrey Epstein. To names that should never be mentioned in the same sentence, yet somehow they are. Today, we're going to uncover the connections that many believe have been sitting in plain sight for more than a decade. This isn't being presented as a conspiracy theory. These are claims and discussions that have circulated publicly for years. And by the end of this video, you might start looking at the Kardashian empire in a completely different way.
Good American on the outside. I've got Skims on the inside.
Wait, say that again?
I'm drinking 818 like crazy.
The grandmother that signed for the daughter to do the tape has the rights to the names and the likeness of my black children. That's what we're dealing with. And I bet not one celebrity say shit. Yeah. They ain't gonna say shit. They're gonna be like, oh man, I'm sorry about your cousin.
Before we go further, we need to establish something important. Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of trafficking minors and moved within extremely powerful circles. That included politicians, billionaires, and even royalty. Despite his 2008 conviction, he continued operating for years, until his arrest in 2019. The real question isn't only who knew him, but also who may have helped him keep that level of access. The Kardashian family, whether admired or criticized, are widely recognized as media masterminds, yet their rise to massive wealth happened during the same years Epstein was most active. That's where this story begins. Now let's look at a connection many people rarely discuss. Les Wexner, the billionaire behind brands like Victoria's Secret, Abercrombie & Fitch, and Bath & Body Works. Wexner wasn't simply Epstein's client, he was considered one of his closest associates. Epstein managed Wexner's fortune for many years, and Wexner even granted him power of attorney, something that reflects an extraordinary level of trust. Here's where the discussion becomes more interesting. The early public image of the Kardashian sisters, Kim Kardashian, Kourtney Kardashian, and Khloe Kardashian, was closely tied to Victoria's Secret. They frequently attended the brand's events and regularly promoted it, and there were even reports that Kim was once being considered for a collaboration with the company around 2010.
Caitlyn wants to go to the show.
Because it's something that...
It's her dad, and she should go to something like that.
She doesn't want one person there.
But you can go.
No, I'm going to be backstage with Kendall. It's something that we've worked on from day one.
So you're not going to go sit in the front?
No, she doesn't want anybody to sit outside.
So tell her to tell Caitlyn, because Caitlyn's going.
Because you opened your big mouth when I said, please don't say a word.
Here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. While the Kardashians were building their relationship with Victoria's Secret, Wexner's right-hand man, Jeffrey Epstein, was using that same fashion industry access to recruit victims. Multiple survivors have testified that Epstein targeted aspiring models, Victoria's Secret models, and those who had deeper access to that world than the Kardashian family. Now, to be clear, there's no evidence the Kardashians directly participated in Epstein's crimes, but the proximity is undeniable. They were in the same rooms. They attended the same parties. They built their empire on the same foundation that Epstein exploited.
So why do you care to go to this? Because I was invited.
Let's talk about the social circles. Epstein's famous Black Book, released during his 2015 court case, reads like a who's who of celebrity in power. And the Kardashians, they've been photographed with dozens of names in that book. Prince Andrew, Alan Dershowitz, Bill Clinton, all Epstein associates, all photographed with the Kardashian family at various events. Now, a photo doesn't mean guilt, but it does mean access. It means shared spaces. And in Epstein's world, access was currency. Kris Jenner, The matriarch and mastermind has built an empire on connections. She's admitted in interviews that she'll do whatever it takes to secure deals. In 2016, she was spotted at a private dinner with Ghislaine Maxwell. Yes, that Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's co-conspirator. The woman currently serving 20 years for sex trafficking. When confronted, Chris's team called it a chance meeting. But in Hollywood, there's no such thing as chance. Every dinner is calculated. Every photo op is negotiated. So, what was Kris Jenner doing with Ghislaine Maxwell? We may never know the full answer, but the question itself is damning.
Look at this. So this has to do with somebody that was filing complaint against Maxwell that had all types of Kardashian ties. Here's what it said. Filing references rumors of the complainant's eggs being used for pregnancy, suggesting possible fertility or surrogacy exploitation, though the writer says DNA testing would be required. Sisters use the complainant's name and funds to promote business ventures and financial activity. Cosmetic transaction is cited, referencing control tied to Kylie Jenner and a reported $600 million deal. Kim is named an allegation involving identity competition and issues tied to children. Khloe and Kendall references having special interest in the complainant's marriage and name change. Complainant also links family to alleged surrogacy and pregnancy-related identity fraud. So what's going on with eggs and surrogacy? Are some of their children not actually their children? Now, we know many of these women have either had some fertility issues or it's really common that they've used surrogates with their pregnancy. So is that what this is about? But it wasn't above board? Was this forced?
Now, let's trace the money because this is where the story gets truly unsettling. The Kardashian family's net worth skyrocketed between 2007 and 2019, transforming them from reality TV personalities into billionaires. Yet, their business strategy leaned heavily on private equity, including firms connected to Epstein's network. In 2017, Kim Kardashian introduced KKW Beauty, funded by a venture capital firm tied to Lex Wexner's inner circle. That same year, Kylie Jenner's cosmetics brand was valued at $900 million by a financial group that had previously worked with, you guessed it, Epstein's clients. Clearly, this isn't evidence of illegal activity, but it reveals a pattern. The Kardashians didn't merely rise during Epstein's time. They ascended through the very financial systems he helped establish. They played by the same rules, and those rules were crafted by men like Epstein and Wexner. What's especially striking is that when Epstein was arrested in 2019, Hollywood largely stayed silent. The Kardashians followed suit. No posts, no statements, no recognition of the victims from people who usually comment on everything: political matters, social justice, fashion trends. Yet, when the largest criminal case of modern times erupted, there was complete radio silence.
While we're on the topic of the Kardashians and the Epstein files, can we please talk about Northwest's creepy-ass drawings from when she was younger? Specifically in relation to a woman named Juliet, who is a verified survivor of Epstein, who claimed that she witnessed Epstein shapeshift into a goddamn lizard person. She said she didn't witness the change herself, but she was like looking at him and he was normal. She looked away, looked back. He's the creature. She looks away, looks back. He's normal again. Juliet described him as a creature with big black eyes, and she drew what she remembers seeing, and the tongue really stood out to me because it reminded me of this drawing of North's, which is like, hello. And also this one, the tongue and the big ass black eyes. Hello. Pass me the tinfoil hat.
Kim Kardashian has recently positioned herself as a leader in prison reform. She's met with Trump, advocated for clemency, and presented herself as a champion for the wrongfully convicted. So, why has she remained silent about Epstein's victims? Why hasn't she shown support for the women who survived his trafficking network? The answer is uncomfortable. Acknowledging Epstein would mean confronting the very system that made the Kardashians famous. It would risk pulling at threads that could unravel their entire empire. But this isn't solely about the Kardashians, it's about how celebrity culture shields itself. Epstein thrived for decades because powerful people chose to look away. The system was built to allow him to operate. The Kardashians are products of that system. Their fame was manufactured by the same media machinery that protected Epstein. Their wealth was built through the same financial networks. Their silence is simply self-preservation.